Hi everybody, welcome back to FRAG-MENTAL, Chris here. Today I'm bringing you my take on a brand new release from Parfums Vintage, and that's Emerald Isle. Stay tuned to FM. Emerald Isle is one of the brand new releases from Parfums Vintage, who brought us the very popular Pineapple Vintage Intense, which was their take on Creed Aventus and X-Batch, which combine elements of Dior Sauvage and Creed Aventus to create this really beautiful hybrid fragrance. So today we're looking at Emerald Isle, which is based on Creed's Green Irish Tweed. I received pre-release samples of this and I had no idea of the notes, and I didn't know if it was based on another fragrance. Immediately upon application, it was clear to me it was based on Green Irish Tweed. Let's talk a little bit about GIT. It was released by Creed in 1985. It's become a classic. It has notes of violet leaf, lemon verbena, mint, bergamot, lavender, sandalwood, ambergris. It's a beautiful, fresh smelling fragrance, often compared to the smell of freshly cut grass. And I just want to digress slightly here for a minute. In one of my earlier reviews of Green Irish Tweed, I mentioned this freshly cut grass accord, and someone pointed out why would they want to smell like freshly cut grass. Well, there's more to it. Obviously, Green Irish Tweed is a fairly complex fragrance. There's many more notes going on in there than just this freshly cut grass accord. When I talk about freshly cut grass, I don't necessarily mean a bang-on photo-realistic accord of freshly cut grass. I don't mean you're going to smell like that when you spray this scent. More, it evokes the same feelings you get when you smell freshly cut grass in the summertime. The warmth of the sun on your face, that feeling of positivity and well-being. The smell of that grass just signifies what's ahead for the summer, being outdoors more, enjoying the weather as much as we can here in the UK. It reinvigorates lovely childhood memories for me. When I was at school on a really hot sunny day, we used to get to play on the big school field, not just in the regular playground. And we had all this space, all this freedom, the warmth of the sun on our faces, all our friends around us. It was exciting and it was special. It also reminds me of when I was a kid and I used to sit and watch my dad cut the grass at home. Well, now I'm the dad, so it's come round full circle, and actually that reminds me, that's a job I need to do. My grass is looking a little bit Honey I Shrunk the Kids out there at the moment, so that's a job to do after this video. This also reminds me of Davidoff's Cool Water, which was one of my coming of age fragrances. I used to wear this when I was about 15 or 16. It was one of the first fragrances I chose to wear. This is obviously a higher quality, more refined version of that, but it still nonetheless triggers those memories of wearing that fragrance. So the scent DNA in Green Irish Tweed conjures a lot of positive memories for me, as I'm sure it does for you as well. And I wear it now, I'm wearing it at the moment, and it's crisp, it's clean, and it's classy. I really enjoy Green Irish Tweed. It isn't my favourite Creed. I find it has a sharpness to it, which I don't mind too much at all, but I do prefer the smoother Creed fragrances. I prefer Aventus, Royal Mayfair, Original Santal. I love the smoothness in those fragrances. Okay, so let's talk about how Parfums Vintage Emerald Isle compares. I just want to briefly talk about the presentation. I know it doesn't matter to a lot of people, but for a clone house, the presentation really is a cut above. The box is as good as any Creed box. It has the logo in gold embossed on the front, some nice gold accenting, and you have this painting that's on the back of Parfums Vintage boxes on the rear. The bottle itself is really nice. I've never seen another bottle shaped like this. It's quite a unique, distinctive shape. The cap is this really nice quality wooden feel, and I've got to say that the sprayer on these bottles is absolutely fantastic. The distribution is brilliant. So, how does this compare to GIT? It's excellent, really, really close. There are a few differences which I'll go into. Apparently this is closer to the vintage formulation of GIT. The violet leaf note has been accentuated a little more in this. The violet leaf is partly responsible for providing the fragrance with its distinctive cut grass accord. And so that violet leaf doesn't become too dominant and take over the scent DNA, I think that the sandalwood has been amped up in this as well. Sandalwood provides you with a really nice smooth creaminess, and this is what you get from this. So what I was saying about GIT having that sharpness to it, with this, It's creamier, it's more full-bodied, it's more rounded, and I really welcome that. I'm going to make a slightly strange comparison to milk here. So in the UK we have 3 different types of milk. We have skimmed, which is no fat, semi-skimmed, which is half fat, and then we have the full fat. So if Green Irish Tweed is semi-skimmed, think of this as the full fat version. So this has extra depth, extra creaminess, it's smooth, it's more rounded. So that slightly sharp note that I'm talking about from the current formulation of GIT is rounded off in this, so I really welcome that. I'm getting that slight difference in the initial projection, so for about the first 2 hours I get that extra creaminess. I still get that really distinctive Green Irish Tweed DNA, but it's just a bit smoother. So after 2 hours, I find that the 2 fragrances then just align more, and as they become more of a skin scent and they settle down, then they pretty much become the same to me. High quality clones of fragrances are pretty big business at the moment, and I find it really interesting that they're not always out to give us an exact copy of a fragrance. They're taking certain well-loved characteristics, they're accentuating certain notes, boosting certain elements to provide us with a real viable alternative to the original formulation of a fragrance. And in some cases, people may actually prefer the clone version. We're seeing this from the likes of Dior, as well as Parfums Vintage, so I'm pretty excited to see what offerings we're going to get further down the line. Let's start to round things up, and I'm going to talk a bit about performance. So I've been testing this against a sample of Green Irish Tweed. I believe it's the current formulation. I actually got this sample from FRAG-MENTAL. Greg runs that company, and I've always had fantastic service from him. I use his company a lot because I can't always own the original bottle of a fragrance that I want to directly test against a clone. So I can highly recommend FRAGranceSamplesUK.com if you're interested in just trying out a fragrance, getting 1 ml or 2 ml. I think 1 or 2 ml you're paying around about £3 or £5, so a really cheap option. So I've got the original Creed sprayed here, and I've got the Parfums Vintage Emerald Isle sprayed here. And yeah, so I get that full-bodied creaminess, and the initial projection I get from this over the original is a bit better. So the first 2 hours of the fragrance, I'm getting a better projection on this. And then as it settles down, they both seem to align and become very, very similar skin scents to me. So in terms of performance, this one is just a little bit better, but really, really close to the original. Let's talk about price, and this is where the clones really do win out, because for Emerald Isle 100 ml, you're paying $89, which is about equal to £65. For 100 ml at full retail of Green Irish Tweed, you'll be paying about £200. So this is a lot cheaper. In terms of versatility, I kind of want to say someone over the age of 25 would pull this off, but it's similar to Cool Water, and I was wearing Cool Water when I was much younger and it really worked for me. So I think really anyone of any age could get away with wearing this one. Any gender, male or female, it would work for any occasion or at any time of the year. For me, personally, this would excel as a dressed up fragrance. So if you're wearing a nice suit jacket and it's a formal occasion, it would work well. And time of year, it's brilliant in the springtime. Okay, I'm going to finish this review off by saying Emerald Isle is a fantastic high quality interpretation of Green Irish Tweed. I love that extra creaminess and smoothness. I love the fact that it's a bit more full-bodied. If you love GIT and you think you might like those elements of this, then I think you would really enjoy it. That's it from me. I hope you've enjoyed this review. I hope you found it useful. If you have GIT, let me know what you think of it. Have you tried this one yet? Do you have an original formulation of Green Irish Tweed? I'd love to know what you think about that. Please like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell to enable notifications. And until next time, keep tuning into FM and keep smelling good.